Well, I've taken a bunch of parts of videos where I fail to get this thing running because I can't figure out the electrical. So I might as well do a quick walk around of the truck so I can throw this on the start of those and have some sort of content. So this is a 77 F250. Pulled it out of a field 3 months ago, maybe. It was buried in blackberries. It was in a field behind my old work. And there was enough blackberries around it that I thought it was an old service truck because you couldn't see any of the rear end. And for some reason I thought there was a crane on it or something. The guy started clearing that area out. There's a really nice old Chevy that I went to ask if they wanted to sell. They didn't, but this was for sale. And the guy was like, and it's got a Cummins in it. So of course I jumped on it, looked under the hood, thought I had a Cummins because I'm an idiot, and went ahead and agreed to pay $750 for it. Before we get under the hood, we'll just go ahead and do a little bit more walk around. This is about the worst damage. The bed was beat out from the inside. Let's walk around and show you why. And it's because it used to be set up for a fifth wheel. So they cut that hole over there to run all their electronics. Those little metal plates, those are normally over it. I took them off while trying to trace wires. Got this big old fuel tank full of pre-Obama era diesel. It's got another gas tank right there. It's got another gas tank. This one goes in between the bed of the truck, and it's got another gas tank right there. So 4 tanks. It's got I think it's an M47 brownie box. So I got 3 fidget sticks. The brownie, which I believe is a high gear. I mean, I can't imagine they'd want something lower than 4 low. We got NP 435, I think it is. 4-speed manual. And then we got the transfer case. I don't know what transfer case it is. Interior's not in the greatest shape, but it's not bad. Seat's pretty thrashed. The only real rust on the truck is right down here in this little cab corner area. So I'll cut that out eventually. Headliners, of course, toast. Doors work, but not well. They need some definite adjustment. Truck is freaking massive. It's got 33s on it right now that I picked up cheap so that I had rollers, because this is what the tires looked like that were on it. Just shredded. This side of the bed's actually pretty good. Got some bad alignment here, and there's a little bit of a whiskey dent there. I'd like to replace the bed, but they're getting kind of expensive, so at some point I may try and weld a whole new side on over there once I get this stupid thing running. Now, when we look under the hood, we got this great big old 6-cylinder diesel. This is actually a Mitsubishi 6D10A. I don't exactly know what it came out of. I think a Fuso. It's 365 cubic inches, rated for like 145 horsepower. Could not find any information on the specs. I just had the gigantic starter rebuilt. It's all hooked up, and now we're gonna jerry rig some batteries in here. I only have 1 battery, so we're gonna be using a jump pack and a little bit of prayer. I'm gonna see if I can get this thing to start. I know it turns over, and it's an old diesel, so it should work, right? All right, round 2 of trying to get this little girl to start. So I thought the problem was the starter, so I had it rebuilt. That cost a small fortune and took 2 months. After putting it in, you just ignore the weird wiring for now. I'll explain that genius later. So after putting the new starter in, I hooked everything up, hooked everything back up, and tried to get her to fire off. And so first off, it's set up for 2 batteries. One was there, one was there. And it's got 2 solenoids. Now, I'm sure one is a starter solenoid and maybe one's fuel pump. I don't know. So we got this big guy here. It's pulling its main ground from the motor ground, right? And motor ground is, of course, using a red wire to keep things from being confusing. Its positive side is over here. I don't know what's driving that because it disappears into this bundle harness thing. We got 3 connections on top. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what's doing what there. I know this one's a ground because it's tied to here. This, I believe, is our main positive wire going into it. We got this big wire that comes down over to here. Ignore this conglomeration for now. Back down on the starter itself, you can't really tell, but right there is our big wire that goes up here through this nice foam stuff and then into this wad, and it comes around to here. So fairly confident that's my main positive for the starter. Now when I hook everything up and turn the key, well, as soon as I make the connection, the solenoid clicks and the key doesn't really do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a battery in here with my jump pack, explain all my goofy ass wiring, and then show you guys what happens when I try and start it. Alright, so I got everything hooked up again. So here, so it's a 2 battery thing, and I'm trying to run this off of 1 battery and a jump pack just to get it started. I'm not a professional, don't do what I do. I'm an idiot, and I mean, I'm working on a truck about 6 miles from a 60,000 acre wildfire. Probably not the best person to take advice from. Anyway, here I got my main positive. This wire goes over to the starter. This comes over and connects onto here, which goes over to that terminal of the solenoid. This is about a 4 gauge cable. It should pass a few hundred amps without getting too hot. For the purposes of starting, this is obviously not how I want to leave it, but it kind of works for right now. For our ground, we have frame ground there coming up. Connected to it, I have this wire, which comes down to my motor ground. The motor ground also comes over to the solenoid here. So that small red wire on the solenoid of the starter, I was measuring continuity, and from it to here I had continuity, from it to here I had continuity, and from it to here I had continuity. Okay, so when I connect the ground, there's going to be a spark. The solenoid's going to close for a second. When it does, you can check voltage, have it here, 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 and here, so both of them are activated. Starter does nothing. If I measure voltage, though, I'll have it here, but not here. And I don't know why. When I turn the key, this guy just vibrates. I'll go ahead and show you the solenoid activation. See, big spark. Also causes the voltage in the battery to drop down to about 11.8. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to film this turning. Maybe we'll hear it when I turn the key. That's not really here. See, the charger, you can't really tell, but this is green. It agrees that there's no shorts, at least. Otherwise, it wouldn't turn on. I don't know why I keep taking the key out instead of just leaving it in here. The lights do work. I mean, that's something. Alright, let me go back to running some voltage tests. Alright, so I haven't really made any more progress. It's still super smoky and unpleasant to be outside, so only doing this bit by bit. What I have figured out, I guess. So, I believe it's this one that closes when I hook the battery up. Because I removed this wire and I still get the click and the big amp draw. When I was rechecking voltages, I actually don't get voltage on this terminal. I do here, which doesn't make sense if this isn't closing, but I don't know how it would be closed unless this is getting power or it's broken. So I get no voltage over here. I tried jumping voltage from one of these positive terminals down to the small one there. I got sparking but no clicking, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. I really need to trace all these small wires to figure out what all that crap actually is. Either that or just bypass it all and just try and manually turn over the starter. If I do that, I don't know if the fuel pump is going to work, or the mechanical fuel injector thingy. Yeah, I don't really know enough about diesels to understand if I need added electricity there or not. It's probably going to be a few days before I get back to working on this. There's just a lot of stuff going on right now, and I don't really have the time. With any luck, my house won't burn down and the truck will still be here when this is all over with, and then I'll have plenty of time to play with it. But as of right now, I'm kind of dead in the water, because I just don't feel like staying out here in the smoke long enough to deal with it. So, if anybody has any suggestions on what I should try or what I should look for, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Otherwise, this will probably be the last time you see this truck, except in the background for a little bit. I don't know. If anything changes, I'll let you know. Y'all have a good day.